Let's get out to Jack in Massachusetts, then we'll get to Nana in Pittsburgh. Jack, good morning, Jack. How you doing?
Good morning from snow-covered Berkshire County, Massachusetts. A beautiful Victory Monday. How you guys doing?
Oh, man,
Doing great.
I'm doing amazing. I'm feeling pretty good.
I need some Pedialyte too. Listen, I know you got a lot of callers, so I'm just going to run through what I got here, bullet points. After the 3rd and 12 where they ran and got it, I was ready to jump off the roof, man. But these are the things that I feel like why we won the game. Number one, the Niners do this great. They shut down the number one receiver. Amon-Ra St. Brown was like out of the game in the second half. Purdy, running the ball and like playing off script. You know, it takes a little luck to get to the Super Bowl. And we played against the biggest fourth down gambler in the league. I mean, it's just unconscionable that guy did that twice.
Right.
But, I mean, look, this has got to be forever known as the Brandon Ayuk Ladybug game. and I know you're not a big Journey guy, but they played Don't Stop Believing at the half.
Yeah,
briefly heard it. Bosa finally, I feel like Bosa hasn't been earning his paycheck recently, but he really did in that game.
Yep.
And like you said, Bonte, imagine if Debo hadn't played in that game.
Oh.
I mean, he was amazing. And we got one of those beautiful 3rd and Juwan plays.
Yep.
And listen, I'll close with this. I mean, after that Ayuk touchdown, after the Ladybug catch, they played Throwing Stones by the Grateful Dead, my favorite Grateful Dead song.
Nice.
They can have Taylor Swift. We got Bob Weir. He was on the sidelines of that game, man. Deadheads, we love the Niners.
Yep.
Listen, I'm just so pumped this morning. I don't even know what to do with myself. Love you guys.
Great call.
You too,
know,
Jack.
they scored the touchdown. It's a one-score game.
Yep.
And on the first play, they fumble it right back.
Right back.
Gibson, who was, I'm going to be generous here, not great in the first half, came through with the punch of a lifetime. And Eric Armstead, who was not great in the first half, lands on the ball. If Eric Armstead does nothing else the rest of his career, it's one of the great playoff plays of his life.
I mean, Tashawn Gibson Jr. bit so hard for play-action pass after play-action pass. Silla Porter wide open in the flat. He kept biting. He was missing tackles. Jahmyr Gibbs would go up 21-7. Everybody missed tackles. Fred Warner, Greenlaw, Gibson. I'm just like, oh, so we're allergic to tackling now. Now we don't want to tackle. And you know what? Detroit, they're a physical football team, and they play after the whistle. They're borderline dirty. They're a borderline dirty football team, no doubt about it. They come in late. I thought Purdy should have got a call late in the game. He got hit in the helmet. George Kittle got held on the play. They were coming in late, diving late.
Huh? I thought it was.
They let him play
for me
a little bit, but it was a little okay.
I thought I would rather it be more physical. It's the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I hear you.
I would rather them not be decided by ticky-tacky fouls. That's
I hear
just
you.
me.
Not ticky-tacky fouls, but I didn't think that was ticky-tack.
Okay.
They were coming in, diving in, they help us, whatever. But no, he's right about that. That defense stepped up in the second half to shut them out for most of the second half there. I thought it was good. That defense stepped up. Fred Warner finishes with 13 tackles. He cleaned it up. Drake Greenlaw played like a man possessed in the second half. Whatever was said in the locker room at halftime, like, we're going to see a story. Somebody's going to write a story about what was said at halftime in the NFC Championship game yesterday at Levi Stadium. Because to be down 24-7 and to give up all those yards again, when Detroit went for it at 4th and 2, it was 4th and 2 up 24-10. At that point in the football game, Shasky, Detroit had 168 rushing yards to the Niners 45. They had 3 rushers who had more yards than Christian McCaffrey on the ground. Jameson Williams, David Montgomery, and Jahmyr Gibbs. Who, by the way, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery going into the game, they're the first duo in NFL history to have over 1,000 scrimmage yards. No running back duo has ever done that in NFL history. Think about how good they were. And Dan Campbell passes it. Now, I didn't have a problem with the decision, but he passed it. But unfortunately, the pass was great. Reynolds dropped it. And that flipped the game, and then the Ladybug play. I don't think we can talk about Brandon Ayuk enough on that play. I don't think we can talk about it enough.
The reality is they got extremely lucky. But the dexterity and the hand-eye coordination to make that play, Brandon Ayuk, to say it's a 1 in a million play is an understatement. B, if the exact same thing happens, how many times does he come down with that ball?
I don't know.
If I do that exact same thing, throw it off the dude's hand face mask, I'm still not even sure what part of the Detroit Lion player it hit. But if I do that, how many guys in league history are making that play?
Yeah.
Lynn Swann and
Lynn
who?
Swann and I don't know.
The guy from the New York Giants, David Tyree.
I don't know.
If they go on to win the Super Bowl, if they do, and we got 2 weeks to kind of chew on that. If they do, we're going back to that play, and we're saying that was the hand of God that helped blow it right into
it was unreal.
Ayuk's hands.
It was unreal because it was overthrown. It was overthrown, and Purdy's deep ball was not great yesterday. It was not great.
It did feel like at that moment in time, the Niners needed a big chunk play.
They did.
And I kind of love that he went for the gusto.
I did too, because Debo underneath, I thought he was going to try to go to Debo underneath.
Me too.
And he let it fly to Ayuk. And you know what? But even then, after that, the first play, McCaffrey gets stuffed, right, for a loss of 2. And I'm like, this Lions front is hitting on first down. They are shutting Niners' run game down. And in second down, it gets batted ball. It's just like, oh, boy, you got to face a third down. You cannot settle for a field goal. You can't do it. And Brock Purdy with the patience hits Brandon Ayuk there on a slant, and I'm thinking, that's my number 1 receiver, and that's my quarterback, and let's roll. And then it just became a mad. I got Vince Scully vibes when he said it's a madhouse here in Candlestick after the catch game. It was a madhouse at Levi's. That place was rocking. I had to sit down for a second. I was sweating. No, and it goes, are you about to pass out? I said, no, I just need a moment.
Well,
I need a moment.
Call me the sucker. I get very emotional at times during games when I'm watching them because I think about what this team means to me and my family and everything like that. And Bonte, to see that third quarter play out the way it did, the amount of heartbreak most of us Niner fans have had in our adult lives. Like, it's been so much heartbreak. We've been knocking on the door. Like, I think about this all the time, all right? And I know we're going to get back into the game. The Warriors went 40 years between championships, okay? How many times did they truly knock on the door?
Not many at all.
Okay.
They did second round, never went to a conference final.
All right, so look, even if we're generous, 2 or 3, right? Let's just say, then that feels
not even. No, they were never in it. Yeah, let's be real.
Okay.
In those 40 years, they never had a chance at winning a championship.
So it was not heartbreak in the same way. Like the Giants had a little heartbreak.
Oh, they had a lot.
62, 89, 2002, 93. Like there were lots of different heartbreak moments, right? Where they knocked on the door. And really, 2002 is the number 1. In just the last 15 years, 2011, 2012, 2013, okay? 2019, 2021, 2022, and it was going to be again yesterday. Think in just 15 years, the amount of heartbreak is generations.
Yeah, no, that's a great point.
Generations. So I'm sitting there in that third quarter, and they're making this 27-0 run, and I'm saying to myself, dear God, this is one of the greatest moments in Niner franchise history. And I know they got to win the Super Bowl, and they got to pull that off, and like so many things got to happen. I was lucky to see the Saints game. I was lucky to see, the game where Kaepernick went crazy at Candlestick. We saw the pick at the stick at the end of the regular season. We've seen some great moments. I don't think I've seen anything like that third quarter.
No, I don't think
in my life.
I don't think we ever will. I honestly don't believe. Again, this is the largest comeback.
It happened in like 5 minutes.
No, this is the largest comeback. They're the first team in NFL history. Think about what they had to do to advance to the Super Bowl. They had to become the first team in NFL history to be down 17 or more points at halftime of a championship game at home against a team that was humming, averaging over 7 yards a carry at that point. Shasky is such a great point. The last 15 years has been a roller coaster for the 49ers.
It's been devastating.
And we're so thirsty for that championship.
Yes.
We're so thirsty for that Lombardi.